Hello, it's me, Recky, together with
Carol.
It's time for another reaction. I'm going part two.
Yeah, I have to know how this ends up. I want.
Yeah. Yeah, we divided it because the 45 minutes
it's a long time to sit.
It's a very long time to sit down,
Yeah.
and we're sitting on wooden chairs, and my butt hurts. So this part two coming up now, and this so far part one has been overwhelming.
Yeah.
And we know it's one of those moments where finally you see the goodness in people. And this is something we talk about a lot. That the good and the bad, luckily, there's more good and bad people in this world. But the fight never ends.
No.
Never ends. And it's all like law enforcement, firefighters that does this work in those shitty times that they have during 9/11. Again, I'm going to say this, it's a poor quality video. It's on a channel called Kitzer 9/11 Archives. If you haven't checked it out, link for the video we're going to watch, of course, for the channel available in the description. If you want to go there and give them the support that they so much deserve, go ahead. If you enjoy this, don't forget to smack the like and, of course, hit that subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that. A big shout out, a big thank you to our channel members and the patrons. And, of course, we have a big shout out to the Supreme Tier donators. We have them on PayPal, on Patreon, and channel membership. Oh, let's get that wrong. It's actually starting to get me pissed off.
Yeah.
We have personal shout outs to the ultimate supporters. They're only available on Patreon.
And
go ahead.
Yeah. Deja, Walt, Dwayne, Dana, Troy, Robert, Matt, Lon, Barbara, and Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we need a Steve.
We need a Steve.
We need a Steve in that list.
Yeah.
We desperately need a Steve. I can just add Steve.
But so far, the last time we checked this, we got up to the point where we found out that they were so generous. They opened up the stores. They provided with medicine.
The pharmacies just gave them the prescription that they need because they only have their carry-on.
Exactly. They didn't get the luggage because they needed to go through them, right? Because
I don't know.
Safety.
Probably. But then again, there's going to be a shit ton of baggages, and they're not going to live there. So they just assume that this is just a holding point till we can go back and to go to the destination that we actually plan to do from the beginning. So carry them out. It's just going to be I mean, there's not a lot of hotels there. There's hotels, but they cannot fit
exactly
3,000 people.
But just the generosity is overwhelming. Just
look at the kindness and the humanity.
The kindness, exactly. Is it makes me cry.
It is
that it.
But I think no matter what this would happen, if let's say that Sweden can have a situation with 9/11 or something similar, I am 100% sure that Denmark, Finland, and Norway will open up the same thing for us.
But that's what I mean. It's so bad and sad that it happens when something like this happens. Not otherwise.
Sweden won't do it because the Swedish government will probably react like 6 weeks later. Oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, but just to see it. It's
I think but let's carry on. Carry on.
Okay, let's go back a bit. I
did a bit. That's about 1.5, maybe 1 minute.
Your heart went out to each and every one of them, because the first thing you do is put yourself in their shoes.
Currently there are thousands of people in Gander and surrounding area that need your help. Please come to their assistance, lend a hand, lend a meal, offer your services wherever possible.
Passengers are not allowed to remove their check bags from the plane, so the clothes on their backs and in their carry-ons may be all they'll have for days. Ganderites respond, donating clothing and opening their shops free of charge.
Show your boxes to the camera.
Hundreds of passengers are also without their prescriptions until owners of the 2 local pharmacies working day and night and across language barriers can fill them all, again, at no cost.
They were able to go into the stores and just take items off the shelves. I'm not even sure they had to pay for them. The people were so accommodating in Gander.
This is our cook. Our chef. Oh, your
Even with all the kitchens firing around town, the local citizens cannot possibly feed 7,000 people. The Red Cross and Salvation Army send additional food and supplies, fueled by donations from throughout Newfoundland.
I can't thank everybody enough. It's been brilliant. Everyone seems to have pulled together, you know. It's amazing where all the stuff has come from.
The community center is also acts as a ice rink, and we've stored all the food on the ice surface, and we became known as the largest walk-in refrigerator in the country.
It's very smart.
Another problem. Gander has only 500 hotel beds for almost 7,000 unexpected guests. Local schools, churches, and Legion halls must be converted into makeshift dormitories filled with sleeping bags, blankets, and cots. It is only as the passengers are settled around Gander that they see for the first time images of the devastation back home.
There's the plane. You can't miss that.
Some 30 hours after all of this had happened, we finally saw the pictures on television, and we just stood there, you know, not saying a word and just watching those pictures over and over and over.
I think a lot were in shock. You could see that look in their faces of total lost. We don't know what's happening. They're in a place called Gander. Their country has been attacked. They're talking thousands of people that may have perished. What's happening? What is happening here?
I apologize to the families of people that are lost right now. We have lots of families seeking information about who was in the World Trade Center. Did they get out? Didn't they get out? Are we able to recover them? Aren't we able to recover them? And we don't know the answers to all of those questions yet.
And Dennis O'Rourke are staying at the Canadian Legion Hall in Gander. By now, they've learned that their son Kevin had been one of the early responders at the World Trade Center and that he is among the missing.
I seen on the TV what happened to the Twin Towers. And I didn't want to alarm her, but I knew that when they collapsed, I figured nobody would get out of that thing. But we prayed. I came here and prayed, hoped that he would survive.
It is reality, you know, as far as in the city of New York, that you are going to lose some of your fellow brothers, you know, battling the Red Devil. Just luck of the draw, I guess.
He says, some are called for nurses, doctors, priests. My calling is to help people. And that's my calling, to be a fireman, helping other people and saving people's lives.
This is an effort involving people that came in on half a day's notice. Some very anxious people, some very worried people, but yet some very thankful people for the hospitality that only the people of Gander and surrounding area can show.
These strangers are just taking us into their home. And it was not just taking us into their home. It was, here's the bathroom, here's fresh towels, here's the refrigerator, there's plenty of food. And then what they said is, now you know where the house is. The door is open.
I gotta tell you, this experience with your town has just been beyond belief. We were buying some clothes earlier for the extra day stay, and the shopping clerk actually invited us to her house to take a shower. So it's been like that ever since we've been here.
And the people are real nice, you know. I can't believe it, you know. Everybody put their arms around you, you know, and it's always food coming in all the time.
There's not one person that we have come across who hasn't offered to help us in some way. It's overwhelming.
They didn't think of themselves at all at any time. They'd be in that kitchen and working all day and work the night. It didn't faze them. As long as they were there for you.
Other than her daily walk to church, Hannah O'Rourke refuses to leave the Legion Hall. Beulah Cooper, the Legion Hall organizer, can't help but notice her pain.
My son is a fireman, but I know this is not New York. And your heart really went out to them. And I tried to get them to come up here and stay, but they wouldn't leave the Legion because they were afraid they'd miss a phone call. She was fantastic to us, and so was everybody else, but Beulah was special. She was like a mother. That motherly love, she'd hold you, you know, and she was great.
I talked to her, tried to take her mind off things, but I know I didn't do that because you can't take a mother's mind off her child.
Beulah Cooper tends to the O'Rourke's day and night. She walks Hannah to church to pray for Kevin and for his fellow firefighters.
The community, the love that they have, you can feel it every place around, you know. They keep telling you, keep the faith, he'll be fine, you'll find him, he'll find his way out. I says, if anybody can, Kevin will, you know. So, it was in God's hands.
The quiet peace around Gander was shattered on September 11th when almost 7,000 airline passengers were forced to land here. They came to be known as the Plain People, and they almost doubled the local population. Many of them didn't know the fate of their loved ones. They were confused and anxious. But that anxiety was quickly replaced by gratitude. Gratitude for the exceptional acts of kindness and comfort offered by ordinary people.
When we were stranded here, we were very vulnerable, but everyone made us feel so loved and at home and comforted. Everybody just put everything on hold to take care of us.
Diane Kershke of Houston is traveling home alone after visiting her son's family in Huntington, England. In Gander, she has met another passenger from Continental Flight 5. His name is Nick Morrison, a button-up oil industry engineer from Worcester, England, on his way to Texas for business. Originally scheduled to fly on September 10th, his company had postponed his trip by one fateful day at the last minute.
That's where I first saw Diane, which was over here. She was sat on an army cot all on her own. There were a bunch of other women over there. There was something in the order of 90 people here. Life, you're on a treadmill, you get up, you go to work, you come home, you get up, you go to work, you come home. And you perhaps don't have time to stop and examine where you are. And all of a sudden, you're plucked out of this everyday life for 4 days. And yes, you do get a chance to examine where you are and where you want to go.
Hey, wait a minute.
They met.
They met there?
Yeah. I guess so.
She said that he said that she was traveling home from England because of her family living there. He was going from England, like she was, but he was going to Texas for business. They met there.
And
That's a story.
That's a story to tell, yeah.
U.S. airspace reopens on Thursday, September 13th. Over the next 3 days, the Gander Airport once again becomes a swarm of activity. Around town, the schools and Legion halls begin to empty.
Our community had a sense of sadness because they didn't know if they were ever going to see, and probably never will see, a lot of those people again. But there was also a lot of friendships developed from it. So there was a sense of sadness, but a sense of relief that I did something good to help those people.
We rode on a school bus to go back to the airport to leave. And of course, I had already been crying because we were leaving the people that we'd met here. And Nick was trying to comfort me, and he was going to kiss me on the forehead. And well, I didn't think about him being a gentleman and kissing me on the forehead. I thought he just missed my lips. So I just grabbed him and kissed him on the bus.
Shirley Brooks Jones, the retired Ohio State fundraising administrator, boards Delta Flight 15 to begin her journey home. She's constantly thinking about the generosity of the people in the Gander area, wondering what she could ever do to pay them back. And then, going home, an inspiration.
All of us, as we were leaving, tried to leave some money with the people. And they wouldn't take it. They'd just look at us and they'd say, no, you do the same for us.
Once the flight is airborne, Brooks Jones asks the pilot if she can make an announcement. A request, really, for passengers to donate money toward a scholarship fund for graduates of Lewisport Collegiate School, where so many have spent their days in Newfoundland.
Several of the men went around, picked up the pledge sheets, counted up how much the people from all over the world had pledged, and they had pledged something over $15,000 U.S.
When Delta 15 touches down in Atlanta, the passengers and crew, who for days were left wondering if anyone remembered them, are surprised by the warm, enthusiastic welcome they received. After 4 stressful days spent tending to her passengers, and with the thought of 2 hijacked American Airlines flights still fresh in her mind, Captain Beverly Bass recalls the moment she arrived home in Dallas.
So we're rolling down the runway. I'm looking straight ahead, and I put the airplane into reverse, and it's the first chance I've had to look to the right, and that's when I saw the American flag. That was it. That was the first time that my emotions came into play.
George Vitale returns home to a New York deeply wounded by 9/11. His everyday, a reminder of what was lost.
I come out my house, and now I'm looking at that Manhattan skyline in front of me, and there's this gaping hole. And I remember becoming so overwhelmed emotionally that I just broke out in tears. I lost a lot of people that I knew, co-workers that never came home. I have sometimes guilt because my experience was so warm.
Oh.
I've made lifelong friends. It's kind of like if this evil attack by evil people never happened, I would have never met on the complete opposite end of the spectrum the most wonderful people on earth.
The O'Rourkes finally arrive home on Saturday afternoon, 4 days after they were diverted to Gander. It will be 9 more days before they finally get the call they had been dreading. Kevin's body has been recovered in the rubble of the North Tower.
I know Kevin so well. He'd be the last man out if it was his way. He'd get everybody out before himself, and that'd be it. That's the type he was.
He was only 44 years old. Parents aren't supposed to bury their children. Children are supposed to bury their parents. The way he died, it was hard. It was hard.
I tell you, each year it gets easier. It don't. It gets harder.
The regular rhythm of everyday life in Gander returns quickly following that extraordinary week in September. Schools are schools again. Churches fill on Sundays. Legion halls open their doors. But the bonds forged in that short time endure to this day. Shirley Brooks Jones has returned 17 times to give back to the people who were so generous to her.
How big is that scholarship fund now?
The scholarship fund is approaching, with insurance and cash, around $900,000.
Wow.
And,
what?
111 young people of the Lewisport area have been helped by that scholarship.
Oh.
Last spring, Stacy Hoff is one of 12 Lewisport seniors awarded a Delta 15 scholarship.
And it comes to no surprise, I'm sure, that the graduate of the year for 2009 is Stacy Hoff.
She is now a freshman at Memorial University in St. John's, Newfoundland.
I was proud. I was proud not only to receive the scholarship, I was proud of my community for what they have done.
Well, the folks around here changed your life, but you changed their life as well.
Yes, we've become very, very close. They're my second family, really.
The Gander experience also forms a new family. After their impulsive goodbye kiss, Nick Marson and Diane Kershke, living an ocean apart, continue to phone and write each other. He visits her in October 2001 and again in December, and ultimately arranges to be transferred to the Houston office. On September 7th, 2002, they are married, and for their honeymoon, they return to Gambo, the village near Gander where they met. The community welcomes them back with a song written just for them.
What?
So when you said to your friends in England, I was stranded in Gander, but I met this lady from Texas. They say, Nick, what's going on with you here?
One of my friends said to me, has she got that Texas twang? And I said, yes. And you still love her?
For the O'Rourkes, memories of 9/11 remain deeply painful. But the lasting gratitude they feel for a kind stranger who became a dear friend during their darkest hours brings them back to Gander for the first time, 8 years after they have buried their son.
I don't believe it. Made you feel right at home, like you were friends forever. And you don't forget that.
In your case, you had great loss, but great gain because of all these friends that you made here.
Oh, I made great friends.
They'll be your friends forever.
Forever. Forever. Can never thank them enough. It is unbelievable what these people have done. The love that's here. Everything, you know. It's just unbelievable.
Love her thick Irish accent.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we keep encountering time after time is the enormous contrast between the darkness of the events in the United States and the goodness that was going on here. So in many ways, Gander played a critical role, not just in getting people through that time, but as an example of what humanity can be when it's at its best.
Well, I think there was a lady, she was 80 years of age, and when she was leaving, I think she summed it all up. She said, when I heard about what had happened in the world, I had lost all faith in mankind. But after spending 5 days here with you people, you've restored my faith.
Oh.
There still is good people lifting our world.
That could be the legacy of Gander.
It could very well be.
In a lakeside park just outside of Gander, there is this monument to the local residents who put their lives on hold to help 7,000 strangers stranded far from home on a terrifying day. Here, every minute of every hour, thousands of acts of kindness were repeated. Here, in gratitude, passengers created a scholarship fund that will endure for generations. Here, amid the heartache, an autumn romance blossomed. Here, parents were consoled as they faced the prospect of the loss of a son at ground zero. Amid so much savagery, so much confusion, the people of Gander and Canada were a glowing reminder of the best that we can be when the need is the greatest.
Oh, wow.
And Kevin O'Rourke, the firefighter from Rescue 2 in Brooklyn who was lost in the World Trade Center last November, his daughter gave birth to a son So now Dennis and Hannah have a great-grandson. Now his name is Kevin. So he lives on.
If you ever need your faith restored in human kindness, that should be compulsory viewing.
Well, it's a great place. I love Newfoundland and Labrador. I've been up there fishing, and they're just very representative of the people. It's a harsh land, and they settled it a long time ago. And as they say to us, this is how we get along here. We help each other out. And frankly, they didn't understand what the fuss was all about. They kept saying to me, why are you doing this story? This is just how we live our lives. So it is, I think, during a troubled time in America, a reminder of how people and communities, even across borders, can help each other.
How many places on Earth could that have happened in?
Well, I don't know. I think that the best of humankind comes out during a tragedy. So I think it's, we see that in this country. We see it in where I go in undeveloped parts of the world where people will respond very quickly. We saw it in Haiti. It's going on right now in Chile, I'm sure, today during this great devastation. It's just sad that it takes a tragedy to bring people together in that fashion. So
Exactly.
that's a very good symbol for the rest of the world to look at, Gander.
There were not too many beautiful stories that came out of that terrible Tuesday in 2001. That was one of them.
Well, the other thing that we felt strongly is that not enough Americans knew about it. And because of the chaos after 9/11, we were consumed, understandably, with trying to put our country back together again. And so when I got up there, I was vaguely aware of the dimensions of it, but not nearly to the degree that we discovered that it played out over a long period of time, and the passengers remain grateful to this day.
Compelling. Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Tom Brokaw. We'll get back to speed skating, the medal races, and mentioned earlier.
Oh, dear, that was.
This was really tough.
I really enjoyed that. I gotta say, I really enjoyed that. I get this warm feeling knowing that the goodness in humans is there. But like he said, there's always need to be a complete messed up tragedy for us to come together like that.
Yeah.
But then again, just knowing that it's there, it's actually a warm feeling, knowing that people will help you if shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I like this.
I love it very, very much. Yeah. I am.
And you, as an American who is watching us right now, did you know anything about this? And if you didn't, let us know. And if you did, well, let us know anyway. What you think about this?
Yeah, and if you have other suggestions, because you are more for the news and keeping updated, but I have been
in the shadows.
Well,
we talked about in the other part one, we talked about a boat lift, and I'm gonna check the comment section for that and see if you guys want to check that out. If you want us to check that out, but other than that, much for watching. I'm Ricky,
and I'm Carol.
You
stay safe.